All right, Happy New Year, everyone. The numbers are in for Aqua for 2022. I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. I'm chuckling a little bit because I just recorded all this and my computer didn't save it. So here we go again. Let's see if I can say this all right again. 2022 in the Gulfront condo market was almost a tale of two halves. The first half of the year was as hot as we've seen really in about an 18, 20-year cycle. The second half of the year was quite a bit different. So a couple of things I want to point out. I'll go through this very quick. A few different charts and graphs I want to show you. Showing time's a service that brokers and agents use to schedule showing appointments. The orange line here shows us that we were showing less property in 2022, especially later in the year. We were pretty similar look first part of the year, and then we were really off. Here's Thanksgiving. You can see that we always have a dip around Thanksgiving, but what's very interesting is we actually saw a little bit of an increase right at the end of December, and it seems to be something that happens every year. I looked at mortgage applications from August 5th to January 5th. Even though plenty of condo purchases are in cash, this will still give us some sense of what's happening in the housing market. And if you really get granular with this, the purchase index is 160.5 right at the end of October. It's up to 182.5 by the end of this graph. So if you think about it in terms of percentages, the purchase index actually moved up about 12 or 13%. So slight improvement in the market, which is a little surprising for that time of the year, but I think it's pretty encouraging. Year over year, let me show you some numbers from the Gulfront condo market. The number of active listings for sale in the Gulfront condo market, just the newer buildings. I just want to compare apples to apples with Aqua. We were down about 12%. We had 12% fewer condos offered for sale last year. We had 35% fewer contracts written. We had 30% fewer actual closings, 949 closings in 2022 versus 1364 the year before. Of course, that translates into about 11% less volume. Interestingly enough, though, 30% fewer number of sales, but only 11% less volume. That's due to a huge increase in price, 27% increase in the average sales price. Most of that appreciation was early in the year. When we look at one more chart I want to show you before I show you that. So another way to look at what happened last year, look at the red line, which represents the number of units for sale at any given point. January, it was at its lowest. Buyer demand was still very, very intense. So we moved from January through about May. We still had fewer condos available for sale than were actually being sold every month. This black line is the number of sales that are actually happening. If you can watch through December through about April, we had more closings happening than there were condos for sale. By April, May, that started to change. Interest rates started to move up, and you can see what happened with supply. It really has moved up quite a bit. You can see what's happened with closings. That's also moved down quite a bit. The biggest takeaway here is, again, my months of inventory number. Remember, 4 or 5 months of inventory represents a neutral market in real estate. Seller calling the real estate office, getting marketing going, scheduling showings, contracts, negotiations, all the way to closing. Working through that whole process on average would take 4 to 5 months in a normal market. Look at what the numbers were January, February, March of last year. 0.51 months of inventory in January, meaning on average across the beach in the newer buildings, we were working through the whole process of seller calling me or whomever, marketing, showing, closing, half a month on average. That's how intense and hot the market was. I think we all took it a little for granted because we were working in it, but that's really intense. And it's still February, March, April. Look at that. To work through the whole process still in 1.3 months is very, very fast. Now follow this and see what happened and why some things happened with the market that they did. June, we were up to 2 months. By July, August, we had leapt to 5 months of inventory, 6.5 months of inventory, meaning theoretically it would take us 5 months or 6.5 months to sell something. Not surprising to see those numbers move up that time of year. it's harder for us to write contracts and show property in the middle of the summer when everything's so rented. So it wasn't too surprising to see it get a little better. August, September, we did a few more deals there. November, to me, was a little worrisome to see 8.21. That's the largest buyer's market we've seen in probably a decade. I'd have to go back for sure to check, but that's a huge number. But I was very encouraged to see December. Look at where we are now, 4.26 months of inventory. The most recent data that we have, we're at a very neutral average market for the Gulf Front condo market. So a quick recap of what's happened in sales and in price in Aqua. A couple of things to point out. I won't go through all of these. Most of you are probably on our e-alert system where you're getting all the information that happens on Aqua automatically emailed to you. If you're not, let me know. I can sign you up for that. But let's key in on a couple of things. Let's watch just the 05 units for a second. 05 units selling for 628, 638 in February. Same floor plan, sold for 750 just a couple months later. Now, I know a lot has to do with condition and floor height and those things, but look at what happened to this number again. 775, same floor plan just a couple weeks later. And then later in the year, 709, 800, 650. Granted, this one's severely updated, but look at that, 650 for a unit that doesn't have a lot of upgrades, where the beginning of the year is 628, 638. So kind of a tale of, again, two halves of the year. I'll scroll through this a little slow so you can hit pause on the video if you want to check out some of the sale prices from the year and see how they compare. Also, again, if you want to see the specific info coming from our MLS system just sent straight to you, I can set you up so that anytime a unit goes up for sale, changes prices, or sells in Aqua, you'll get that specific information. I can send it as soon as it comes out, or I can batch it so it comes like once a week or once a month. Really good way to stay up with the market. In fact, we can do that for any building you're interested in, not just Aqua. So going forward, a couple things. Remember, we're sitting right now at 4 months of inventory, 4.2 months of inventory. Pretty neutral market for now. What I'm watching over the next 60 days is how many people put their condos up for sale. Some people who are thinking about selling in the spring will know that the spring market is as intense of a market as we have all year. It won't be surprising to see some people put those up for sale. How much supply do we add to the market over the next 60 days? And how many of these things are we selling? In Aqua specifically, right now, there's not a lot of competition. 611, 1208, and 205 are the only units for sale. So if you have any other floor plan besides those, the ball's sort of in your court. You can make your own market. You can probably push pricing just a little bit, at least at the moment. A couple of things, if you are thinking about selling in 2023, two strategies probably. If you rent very well and you are going to maybe use it a couple times this year, getting through rental season, getting the income and targeting July or so, July, August to think about putting up for sale, of course, is a common strategy. Another one, for people who like to take advantage of selling in the spring market when buyers are most emotional about their purchase, they'll push the envelope and pay a little bit more. Think about starting the process earlier than you might normally. Plenty of agents will tell you that you can call me today and I can have you on the MLS tomorrow. Yes, that's possible to do it right, in my opinion. To get professional photography and videography on the right weather day and to build a custom website and to start running ads correctly can take sometimes 7 days, 10 days, 2 weeks. Think about starting the process sooner than you might normally. Also think about, especially this year, plenty of people who are coming to market in the spring may not be making the phone calls until March or April. You can get ahead of that by starting now. And now all of a sudden you have less competition. You may beat any potential competition that's coming to the market this spring. You could be doing a little better. Buyers are looking to buy now. We've had a pretty good 2 weeks in the market. Plenty of buyers know that they want a condo ready for rental season or to use this beach season, so are looking and out shopping now. So think about that. We're going to be obsessing over the data. I think there are a lot of questions in the market. We're not exactly sure which way things could go this year. So every month we're going to be coming back, looking at the numbers, reporting back. Subscribe to the YouTube channels, probably one of the easiest ways to keep up to it. You'll be notified as soon as one of these videos is up. Of course, if you're on my Aqua email list, you'll get the Aqua reports specifically. If you're on any of our other ones, we'll get you those. If you're not on these lists and you want to be one, shoot me an email to craig@durangroupfl.com or shoot me a text 850-527-0221. Again, Happy New Year. Thanks for watching.